Morning, everybody. Hope everybody has had a great weekend and everyone's enjoying your summer so far. We had a spectacular weekend. I had my grandson at the beach on Sunday. It was his first time on a boogie board where he actually was at low tide, and the tide was actually kind of taking him out and I had to go grab him. It was kind of, it was kind of interesting. But anyway, so with me today is Lorraine DeVaux, our very talented marketing director. She's going to talk about some of our marketing initiatives. And just remind everybody that go ahead and send in your questions, right, as we're going through today's video call, and we'll get to them towards the end. We'll save some time. I want to do kind of a deeper dive into the marketplace and where we are now, both internally in our organization, state or footprint wide, right, all three states, and then nationally, how that all compares. So, so where we are is basically the company is flat year over year. June ended up not being a great month. It had projected to be a good month, but with fall throughs and push outs, you know, the month kind of flattened out. That was true also in New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont as well. So just by example, New Hampshire's June was off almost 9% year over year. I don't have Maine's and Vermont's numbers yet. So generally speaking, the market's having a really hard time keeping up with last year. And so if you're off right now as an agent, don't be surprised. It has nothing to do with you. You will talk a little bit about some things you can do to kind of jumpstart the second half of the year. But the year itself is definitely struggling with staying ahead. And I think some of that is just simply to do with inventory. You know, right now nationally, inventory is at one of its lowest points in history. We're just about 4 months of inventory nationally, and within the footprint, it's about the same thing as well. So we're depending on what market you're in, we're somewhere between 3 and 4 months supply of inventory. And how they calculate that, it's really simple. It's just basically the run rate, right? We're selling this many houses and we have this many listings, and that equals this many months. So we're really at a really kind of an all-time low for the inventory. And there's a lot of conversation at a national level, and I think we're gonna see this in the coming months, where there's a lot of calls for new construction, which you know, we don't see much in our part of the world. You know, you see pockets of it in the Seacoast, a little bit over in, you know, Manchester, Nashua. You got quite a bit over like in Londonderry, but again, it's not global in the marketplace. It's just in pockets, and the inventory situation is going to be such where that I think you're going to probably see some sort of declaration at some point of a housing shortage. An entirely different type of crisis than what we had, you know, 10 years ago. This was kind of interesting. So I think there'll be a push for more new construction, but they're gonna have to do different things. It's gonna have to talk about tax credits and all sorts of things to spur on development. But we can talk about that at a later date. But anyway, so if you're behind last year, you know, it's really not you. It's really just the overall environment. As a company, we're ahead year over year in inventory by a couple hundred units, which, you know, doesn't seem like a big number for a company our size, but just to be ahead at all is a pretty big deal. So congratulations, you guys continue to do a great job on the listing side. We've had some really phenomenal booking weeks. I think a week ago Monday we had our largest gross commission income booking day, and I think it was almost 700,000 of gross commission income on about 67 transactions. So, you know, the activity is out there, but as you guys all know, it's very heavily listing based. Nationally, so NAR predicted that we would be at about 5.5 million residential resale units. So it's not new construction. And that was the forecast for this year. You know, NAR tends to be pretty accurate. Right now, on a 12-month run rate, we're at 5.34 million units. So we're about 1% off the national forecast. Again, it's at the midway point. The way activity is, like I said, June was off, but you know, I think we're going to see a very strong end of the summer and through the fall. Rates are coming down. You know, the difference between a 5% interest rate and a 4% interest rate is a 20% increase in buying power. So if the inventory is there, you know, I think we're going to continue having a stronger type environment. I think the second half of the year, you know, could be much better than the first half. It certainly has that capacity with the economics in it. I think a lot of it will be inventory driven. A few things that you can do, okay, talking about how do we make the second half of the year better, right? So first, and again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but is your CRM. If you're not making time to build your CRM, make the time to do it, because it's basically, it's like riding a bike. Once you got it, okay? And then you keep working it. So if you don't have that in place, you know, get that in place now and start to work it. The other thing, and I'll talk about this in greater detail in a minute, but business development. You know, take a look at what opportunities exist in the Business Development Center, because I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll give you some numbers that you can kind of rest your analysis against, right? Whether or not I want to do, you know, referral business or not. Certainly mailings, right? Through the Quantum Mail program, you all have accounts. I would take a look at doing some mailings into some neighborhoods. You know, pick neighborhoods either that you're familiar with, or neighborhoods that you know have high turnover, or neighborhoods that you've sold, you know, a lot of properties in. And your business support specialist can help you with that because you all have an account, and it's really pretty simple to do. And I would invest some time in that, because although it's the middle of summer, it's, you know, going to be 85, 90 degrees today. Fall is really right around the corner. So really the prep work you're doing now is really for fall, and fall bounces you into next year, okay? So this is all prep work, you know, not only for the second half of this year, but also bounces you into the first part of 2020. A couple other things. Buyer brokerage skills. Work on those, okay? We've got buyer brokerage classes that are still cycling through. I would also be looking at, on the greenhouse, there's a buyer brokerage presentation in there. I would look at that. And also be considering, you know, understanding more about your value proposition. You know, you as an individual, you know, vis-a-vis the support you get from your office and the company, right? And really brush up on that, because in this type of environment where we're kind of flat, right? Closing 1 or 2 or 3 transactions a year, either, you know, north or south, right? Either closing 3 more or closing 3 less really makes a big difference on what your year is like. So, you know, when you're in a flat environment, although sales prices are going up, nationally prices are up about 5%, and that's about the same locally as well. You know, you still need to close more units to be ahead, even though sales prices are up, right? I mean, just because sales prices are up 5%, it doesn't mean that that's going to make up for necessarily closing fewer units. And so, you know, an extra 2 or 3 units in this type of environment is really a pretty big deal, considering what the median sales prices are. So business development real quick. So we've had a lot of agents sign up for the OpCity account, which has been great. And Jocelyn and the team are doing a fantastic job of corralling that business. And you guys are doing a great job closing it. And I know that we're very highly regarded for our sales performance within OpCity, having talked to one of the OpCity executives a couple weeks ago. So congratulations on that. I want to give you, though, a little different perspective on business development. So on a corporate listing side, corporate referrals, right? I'm going to talk specifically about listings because those are so important. On the corporate listing side, the average corporate listing sales price is $400,000. All right, now that's an average. It's a little more or less in different places. Now, you got to pay a referral fee with that, okay, as you know. But the net value of that $400,000 listing after you pay the referral fee would be the equivalent of doing a $280,000 listing with no referral fee. So I know a lot of times, and I get it, right, because I've done that work myself, that, you know, taking on, you know, a project, you know, or a listing referral that's got the paperwork and the referral and all that, you know, you can kind of look at it and just say, well, it's expensive business with a little bit more work. But if I said to you, you're going to get a $280,000 referral without a referral fee, you know, that would feel a lot different than a $400,000 referral, right, with one. So, you know, the net value of those are still very high. It's approaching $300,000, and those listings, they're pretty much guaranteed sales. It gives you another customer contact. It adds to your commission basis for your comp plan, and then obviously it's net income. So we do have openings right now for corporate listing agents, and if you're not in that program and you have any interest at all, you know, get a hold of your sales director or Jocelyn directly and talk about it, because it is really valuable business, especially on the listing side right now, with way the inventory is so tight. And you know, again, we've opened up this business to more people, and more people are taking it. And the whole purpose of that is so that, you know, we could get a lot more people to benefit by it. Okay, so again, net value on average is about $280,000 net of referral fee, and it's a very good business. Lots of referrals come to you from that business that don't have referral fees associated with it. So just give that some thought. So we've got a lot going on the marketing side, and Lorraine's going to give us an update on what she's been working on and some of the progress that we're making.
Very good. Good morning, everybody. I'm actually going to share my screen because I have a few slides. It's a little easier to absorb some of the stuff we're going to talk about if you can see it visually. So give me just one moment. And okay. So a little bit about where we have allocated our marketing dollars and efforts in our consumer advertising campaigns. So we currently have TV commercials that are running constantly. They're running in the morning news and in the evening news hours, which we feel are the most fruitful for the type of clientele that we're trying to reach. I'll show you a map in a second that's going to show you where those coverage areas are, but we're basically covering our entire footprint with either TV or radio. So we've got spots running on the radio. We also have a very large digital campaign that's running, and that is through all ads all throughout the internet, as well as on social media. And so that is promoting our listings, but also promoting our company, and most of all, promoting our wonderful agents and our success rating and things like that. So all of that is currently running, and what we are currently working on is expanding all of that. So that's just going to continue to grow over time. And we have more commercials that we're shooting. Commercials that we're running now are about 15 seconds long. We're looking at doing some longer commercials. We'll be shooting one actually next week. And always enhancing our digital advertising. Kind of one of the beauties of running ads throughout the internet and on social media is the immediate feedback that you can get, and immediate tracking that we can see of what's effective and what's not. Traditional advertising, a lot of times it's spaghetti on the wall. You put an ad out, it's a lot of money, you don't really know how effective it is. But with digital, we can see what people are clicking on, what are they reacting to, where are our leads coming from, and so we can adjust almost in real time with what's happening to our ads. So it's very effective use of advertising dollars.
Yeah, what I thought was really interesting when we were going over the numbers is the ability to take a look at, for instance, like with the TV stations, right?
Yeah.
Taking a look at, like, they know the number of people that are looking on the mobile device and that are looking on desktop, and the stations came to us and so came to you and said, hey, you know what? You should drop the desktop part and just go strictly to the mobile device access.
Yeah, and exactly right. And it's really interesting to recognize that behavior shift of what's effective and what's not, so we know what to do in the future. So this is just to show our footprint of where we are advertising. So WMUR TV, which is the ABC affiliate, it covers all of New Hampshire, covers Eastern Vermont and Western Maine. And then we've also added their counterpart in Maine, which is WMTW, again, the ABC affiliate, and that's that area in yellow. So there's a large overlap of stations that hit, 2 stations that hit the same area. And then we've also added radio to hit higher up into Maine. And we are currently contracting with another TV station for Maine. So again, this is going to be ever evolving and expanding.
And that's in the Bangor market.
That's in the Bangor and Portland markets, yes. And so you can see, I'm hoping you can see on the screen where all of our offices are. So our entire footprint is covered by something. And again, it's only going to get more robust. So what does all that mean in terms of what's that doing for us? So this graph shows what our website activity has been over the last several months. We launched our brand new website in September. And since then, I mean, close to doubled our web traffic. And you can see the trend line. We're just basically, I always say we're heading for the moon because we're just not good. We're unstoppable at this point. So that it is effective. What we're doing is, it does matter and it is working. So what do we need next? So our next thing, so we're sending a lot of traffic to our website, which is to our websites collectively, our company site and all of our agent sites, which is wonderful. And we want that, and we want leads, and we want people to look at listings. However, they're not always going to be immediate buyers. What we want on our website is content that will keep them coming back over and over, whether they are ready to buy or sell right now, or they're just looking for information about how to buy and sell when it's time, or they're looking for the lifestyle content. They're looking for first-time buyer, which could be a long ramp-up time, or they're looking to downsize, or whatever the content may be that they're looking for. We are the subject, we, being you all, are the subject matter experts, and we should have that information that they're looking for. And so we are looking to all of you to help us build up the content on our website by contributing a quick article or sharing some of the knowledge that you have and that you put into play every day. Write it down. We'll make it look all pretty. We'll add graphics to it and we'll add it to our website. And then all of that becomes searchable content that people are out there Googling, trying to find information about. We want them to reach us. And one of the largest underlying themes of, well, 2 very large underlying themes of everything that we're doing is that our agents are local. They know the area. They are experts in the local market. And we have a 98% customer would recommend rate. So it's not just that we're bragging that we're local, but our customers are speaking for us and saying, we would recommend these agents again. So all of those things matter.
And we're doing a commercial on that.
And we are, yes, you'll see that very shortly. And this is just, again, talking about our real satisfied ratings. Wanted to just quickly share the numbers with you because these numbers are astonishing. I've been in marketing for a really long time. I've done a lot of surveys. We never get the kind of return rate that I see here. So if you almost have to look at this going from the end back to the beginning. So we sent out 3,500 surveys to your clients, asking them how satisfied were they with. And of that, 986 came back, which is 28%. And again, if you've ever done these surveys, maybe you get a 5 to 7% return rate. It's extremely low. So the fact that we got 28% back already speaks volumes. And then of those 28%, 71% of people took the time to write down, not just check off, yes, I was happy, but write out a testimonial in their own words. And then to have that 98% of those clients would recommend you guys to their friends and family, their precious friends and family, that's massive. Again, never seen numbers like that before. So congratulations and thank you for all of your hard work. Our Boost program, you hear us talk about this a lot, so I just wanted to quickly share the numbers of the impact. So we keep talking about Boost and why it's important. Anybody on the video who's not familiar, Boost is a paid advertisement for every listing slight little asterisk on that, but every listing over 75,000 gets promoted for 3 days in paid advertising all throughout the internet, and 3 million people have seen those ads since we started running, with 300,000 clicking through to get more information. There's no reason why this number is not even higher. We're currently only boosting about half of our available listings. So we're gonna keep sending this message out, because these numbers, this is great advertising for you, for your listings, and also collectively for all of us.
And excuse me a second, and part of that boost process, right, is that it goes out into social media and it gives a particular customer interested, right,
Yes.
the ability to click back to the agent. So it's
Yes.
a lead source. It's not just an outbound marketing
That's
source.
correct.
It's an inbound lead source.
That's correct, yes. All of the lead traffic would come directly back to you on your website. And you also have the ability to add your seller into that program, so that they will see the advertisement throughout their social media and throughout the internet. And so that's proof of concept that you are doing stuff for them. And it just, is great to see their own home out there being promoted.
Excellent.
All right, a couple of updates about TMG Connect. One of which is the resources section. So if you've gone to try to find a copy of a contract or any forms or anything like that, it was a little bit clunky to navigate around the folder structure. So we are in the process right now. Give us about a week, we'll have this all tidied up. If you go under the resources and then agent resources, it's just a long list of resources that you can just quickly search, find what you're looking for, and click to download. So all about efficiency and helping you find what you need quickly. And your business support specialist can certainly help you navigate that. We have a few new listing tools that have just been launched. I won't go deep into these, but just high level. These are all in the interest of promoting listings. So List Sync gives us the ability to syndicate our listings out on a greater platform with more control than we have had traditionally. And we're still evaluating all of this, but just so you know what's happening. List Track is the reporting arm of that. And again, we're doing some testing, but this will be eventually, we believe this will take the place of List Hub. These reports are interactive, they are mobile friendly. You would be able to set up your seller to receive a report, and they are, as I mentioned, interactive. One cool thing they have on there is a heat map to show where the interest level for your listing is coming from. So you may have a listing in Manchester, New Hampshire, but when you look at the heat map, you might see that a lot of traffic is coming from a whole other state. And you can drill down into, why is that happening? Does the seller have family there? Is that why? Or are people looking to migrate from Texas buying vacation properties in Maine? Who knows? Or New Hampshire. So it's really interesting to look at. It's interesting for the seller. So that is coming very soon. List Globally gives us the ability to syndicate listings out internationally. So we have had a relationship for a while with the international MLS and with July. So we've had an international presence, but List Globally is a new addition. We are now syndicating our listings to 70 countries in 100 languages. And why does that matter? Because $121 billion in sales comes from outside the country for residential sales. So there's $121 billion of importance that's put on being able to market our listings outside of the country. And again, these are attached to your information, so you receive these leads when they come from anywhere.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. And July covers the Pacific Rim,
Yep.
right? So it's kind of like Zillow of the Pacific Rim.
That's right.
One thing about this, right? So it seems kind of I don't know, maybe distant, right? That we're going to have people from India or China, right? Although China doesn't seem that distant, because you see a lot of Chinese buyers around.
Cash.
Yes, cash, right. Yeah, amazing. It's amazing the amount of cash that's actually in the economy anyways, that just pure economics. But what you got to remember though, right, is that our marketplace we're in, like northern New England, so I'm going to include Massachusetts in this, but Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont have some of the highest standards of living and quality of living in the country, right? And if you've ever been to Boston lately, you know, Boston's really an international city, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, where you don't think about it that
Yeah.
way, right? But we were there over the 4th of July, and it was amazing looking at the number of people visiting, you know, other foreign nationals visiting to see where this all started. It was pretty
Yeah, that's true.
fascinating, you know. So you look at New Hampshire and Maine and Vermont and Mass, right? And you know, if you're looking to invest foreign dollars and you're looking on the East Coast, this is one of the places you're going to go. You got great schools, you got private schools, high quality of living. You have a fantastic educational system, right? So, you know, I think this has more and more relevance as time goes on, just because of the quality of life that we all enjoy.
Yeah, and those reasons that Chris just itemized are actually, we put all of this together on a flyer that will help you use this with your customers to explain what our international presence, what it is, how it works, and why this is so important. And so that flyer is currently available in TMG Connect. You can download that there.
Nice.
Yeah, I believe that is, yeah, that's the end of the slides, and certainly open to any questions. I know I talk fast and there's a lot to say, so if you have any questions, let us know. There are some chats. Let's see. Oh, CTA, what did CTA stand for? Sorry, we are in the process of shooting new TV commercials, and those are call to action. So the commercials that we currently have running, if you've seen any of those, are more about branding and about who we are as a company. These commercials will have more of a call to action. Like, if you need this, do this. And that's the focus. We always want to drive them to take an action and do something. Any other questions? I'm not seeing anything. Put them into chat.
Well, if you got any questions post video, just, you know, obviously you can always email me or Lorraine or Ed or your sales director, and you know, we're happy to answer questions. You know, it's there's a lot going on. This is a very fluid environment that we find ourselves in on
Really exciting time.
on almost all levels, right? You know, you got the marketing side. You know what? It is the most. This is for as long as I've been doing this, right? So, you know, I started doing this in my late teens, right? So we'll try not to date me, right? But for as long as I've been doing this, this is the most exciting time that I've ever been in this industry, because the change is expansive and deep. But that's where all the opportunity is. All the opportunity is in that space between leaving what you know to going to what you don't know, and that's in that space in between is where all the creativity exists. You know, we're very fortunate with the job that you know, that you guys are doing out in the field, and then the talent that we have in the home office. You know, you put the two together, it's really you know, a powerful experience. Yeah. You know, I couldn't be happier for where we are. So.
All right. Agents have asked, can Boost be automated or attended to by home office or business support specialists, so it does not fall on agents to complete? We have asked the Home Spotter, the company that runs the Boost program. We've given that feedback. We operate a little differently than a lot of other brokerages do. A lot of other brokerages, the onus is on the agents themselves. So they've been slow to react to that feedback. However, what we have done is we've figured out some workarounds, and your business support specialists are aware of what those are. So they can set up a rule within, or you can set up a rule within your email. So when that email to Boost comes to you, it automatically copies the business support specialist so they can take action. They just need your login to the Boost program. Also part of the new listing checklist, it's just, you know, don't even wait for an email from Boost. Just 2 or 3 days after you put a listing live, log into the Boost platform and boost it from there. So work that out with your business support specialist, but there should absolutely be some workarounds.
And at a minimum, they could just email it to their business support specialist. And they
Who can do it from there. Yep. Let's see. Is it possible to have real satisfied surveys send out immediately after closing? It sometimes takes 2 to 3 weeks. To be honest, I cannot speak to that. That's not my department, but I'm sure they have a path that they follow. we can,
It all gets sent out locally, though. It gets sent out by the business support specialist at the office.
oh, okay,
level.
see, I'm just not aware.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
bring the
clarify
feedback.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
good question.
Okay, and will ads be on channel 6? I'm not familiar with what channel 6 is or where that that looks like. It's in the Brunswick area, Kirk. So if that is News Center Maine, then yes. If it's something else, then reach out to me privately and we'll chat about
I
that.
think that is.
Yeah, that's what we're looking into right now.
Yeah. And we see that the ability to redirect marketing more locally. It's been a process as we kind of re-engineer our thinking around that. But you know, we're really vetting out, you know, other opportunities. You know, like up in Hanover versus, you know, we're doing the farmers market. I don't know. There's going to be lots of opportunities for things, and we're looking at those and trying to get, you know, it's kind of some rhythm around it. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for different things.
Absolutely.
You know, the one thing though that's really fascinating, you know, is that the website for the local TV stations, and especially on the mobile apps, are really very popular for people. They get weather, sports, traffic. They get news without any embellishment. Not to be political about it, but they just get news.
Yeah,
right?
fast, which is what they want.
And so we'll be looking at increasing our spend, I think, more on those mobile apps.
Right. It's working, and that's, like I mentioned, it's the beauty of being able to get that real-time feedback on what's effective.
Yeah. So Lorraine and her team have done a really phenomenal job with that.
One last thing I would love to close with. Chris mentioned the CRM and how vitally important it is. We've just done a deep dive into how we're tracking in getting our CRMs up to date across the board. And there's still some work to be done. And so we want to make sure if you've got questions or you don't even know where to start, reach out, because it's going to just be even more important as time goes on to have that way to manage your business and manage new leads and keep track and have all that working for you while you can go out and do the things that you like to do, which we know is not that. But this system does so much for you that it's really important to learn and at least get the basics done, and then a lot of it will take care of itself. I
mean, I know we're getting a little long on time here, but you know, if you think about it in terms like this, right? If you have your CRM built, now this is going to sound speculative, but I'm going to be I'm pretty confident about these numbers, right? If you have your CRM built and you just take and your support specialist can do all this for you, right? And you just use like the drip campaigns that already exist, so there's no reinvention of the wheel. Right, you should be able to add at least 2 or 3 more transactions a year to your business with very little effort. And although I can't guarantee that for everybody in the company, what I can guarantee is that it's a very high probability.
Yeah.
Just by doing that.
Yep. It's all about keeping in touch and building relationships. So it's doing a lot of that stuff for you and reminding you when it's time to reach out personally, which is just not always easy to find time to do. Okay, I could go on all day, so yeah, I think we'll wrap.
So we're good?
Yes. If anybody has questions, just email us in marketing@Masiello, and we'll get to you.
All right, good to be with everybody. You guys are doing an amazing job, and congratulations. And looking forward to enjoying the rest of the summer and a really brisk second half of the year. So take care.